Welcome to the Heidi Thorne Show. I'm your host, Heidi Thorne, and in this podcast, I share my real world self publishing and small business experience with you. So let's get started with today's show. Now, as I'm recording and publishing this, it's getting close to Halloween, and of course, that means the holiday season is right around the corner. So let's start talking about promoting your book during the holidays. Now, in theory, that sounds like a really good idea, right? People are spending money, and maybe your book is great as a gift, but there are some things you need to consider before you start launching into these holiday book promotions. First of all, you need to take a look at your book. Is your book holiday sales worthy? Now, books that are like on art or cooking or hobbies or kids books or inspiration or motivation, those types of things generally make good gifts. So those could be holiday sales worthy. But what if you're like me and you write business nonfiction for small businesses and self-published authors? Well, it's not that holiday gift worthy unless the person is buying a gift for themselves, which is possible because during the last part of the year, you are thinking about new projects, or if they're in business, they're planning for the next year, they may want to buy that type of thing. So it might be appropriate for them to buy that type of book during that time as well, because I do write for business. A lot of businesses have extra spending during the end of the year. One, they might be trying to use up some budgets, and as well, they may be trying to expense these things in the current calendar year so that they can write it off as a business expense, especially if it's for education in their taxes for that year. So, I guess it could work. I guess I could say, well, you could buy it for a gift for yourself or to improve your business. I guess I could have messaging like that. So yes, a lot of buying goes on during the period from Thanksgiving to New Year's. But you have to kind of look at your book and see if it's appropriate to do any major book promotions. Now, the other thing with doing book promotions during the holidays is that a lot of authors are prone to wanting to offer discounts and deals. Now, there's nothing technically wrong with that. However, there are some caveats. First of all, if you do a Kindle countdown deal, I've had very limited success with countdown deals, and I'm not sure exactly why. I have tried to promote them with social media posts and things, so I haven't had the best of success with it, but maybe your experience is different. And you can only do that for a few days during the period, and again, your title has to be enrolled in KDP Select in order to be eligible for a countdown deal. Now, what you can also do is reduce the price of your books on KDP, but you're probably going to want to not do that either. And there's a couple reasons for that. The first reason is that, let's talk specifically about print for the moment. There's a minimum price that you're allowed to charge on KDP for your print book. So you can't discount it any further than that. Amazon won't let you because there are costs to produce and handle your book. And if you reduce it just to that minimum, you're not going to make really anything in royalties or profits. So by offering that discount, you may increase your sales, but you're not going to increase the money you make. So be very, very careful about offering discounts and without thinking about it first. always, always look at your profit margins before you do any discounting. And in we're and when we're talking about discounting, again, with the Kindle Countdown deal, there's some timing issues as well because you can only do it for a certain amount of days during the holiday period. The other timing issue is that I would suggest that you not use the days around the typical big buying days, and that would be Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Those are huge buying days. And you're thinking, well, why shouldn't I run a promotion then? Well, it's because everybody's running a promotion then. And your offer is going to get lost in the shuffle. So you probably want to look at maybe some other days that might be good during the holiday season to run your book sale promotion for the holidays. And so you also want to realize that the timing of your book sales promotions during the holidays, it can be kind of hit or miss. And again, it has to do with the other promotions that are going on at that time, and you have to do a lot of experimentation. And you may also be tempted to, in addition to any maybe social media promotions that you're planning to do, you may be thinking about doing some advertising. Now, if you advertise on Amazon marketing services, which are ads that appear right on Amazon as sponsored products, those could also get lost in the shuffle. And one thing you have to be aware of too, and I really, really caution you about this, is that you don't want to be pumping up your budget or your bids so high that you are winning sales but losing money, because it can get expensive. Now, I did an experiment earlier in the year. It wasn't around the holidays, but I pumped up my ad spend on two publications that I have. And if it was run more often, of course, it was run more often, but it also like completely wiped out any profits that I made on the books. So this is something you need to be very, very careful of. And if you are running AMS or Amazon ads for your books, monitor your ad spend weekly at the minimum so that you don't end up in this situation where like, oh my God, I spent all of that. And then you're looking at your sales and uh, so be very careful with that. And with Facebook or Instagram ads, again, it's kind of an experiment. I really haven't done that well with Facebook ads for books specifically, but I do know that there are authors who do. So I think it really depends on your market. You have to do some experimenting. But again, just as with the Amazon ads, be very careful, run some test runs with your advertising, and try and avoid some of the peak periods when there's just such a flood of other ads and noise that your ads and promotions are going to get lost. Now, the other thing about gift giving Now, the other thing about promoting gift giving sales of your book is that you may think everyone knows how to buy books as gifts and that your books are available as gifts, but I think they forget sometimes. So you might have to remind them. And you want to remind them how easy and convenient it is to buy your Kindle ebook or your Audible audiobook as a gift. All you really need is the person's email address and you can send it to them. That is super easy, so they can even do it last minute. So that's something you also might want to do in your promotions. Hey, for a last minute gift, you might want to think about one of my books. Now for print books, it's just like any other Amazon product. So there might be gift giving or gift wrapping available, I should say. So you just have to check it out and see. Uh, so for your print book, it's just same. So for print books, it's just the same as buying almost any other product on Amazon. So, and that's still easy for them too. So just some things to think about as you're planning your holiday book sales promotions. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, please wander over to Apple Podcast and give the Heidi Thorne Show a nice rating and review. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe. The Heidi Thorne Show is available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, and Podbean. I would really appreciate it if you would share the Heidi Thorne Show with your friends on social media. And my books, in case you want to buy them for yourself or others, are available on Amazon and Audible and Apple Books. All you have to do is just type in my name, Heidi Thorne, and look for my author page. And that's where all my official editions of my books are available for sale. If you would like to connect with me, my website is very simply HeidiThorne.com. Thank you so much for listening and for your support.